The scrutiny of Labour Party officials and potentially Prime Ministerial staff and ministers over the sexual assault allegations has been broadened. The Prime Minister has outlined a further review to be carried out by an independent third party as she continues to deal with the fallout of the scandal. But the terms of reference and the resulting reports won't be made public. Jacinda Ardern's been under fire for how party officials and senior politicians have responded to allegations against a former staffer. Those allegations range from bullying to serious sexual assault. The staffer has quit his position in the leader's office and maintains his innocence. And today, one of the party officials who was on the original investigating committee has gone on the offensive over allegations made about his role. Here's our political editor, Jane Patterson.
Ms Ardern leaves the country tomorrow for a 2-week trip to Japan and New York, but is trying to dampen down the controversy before she goes. The QC brought in a few weeks ago by the party will now focus solely on the complainants and their complaints. Ms Ardern says the Labour Party lawyers have already looked at how officials conducted an earlier investigation of the allegations.
They will now hand that report over to an independent third-party reviewer who will establish a statement of facts around the party process and what complaints were received.
Jacinda Ardern was asked if any of her staff or government ministers will be included in that review.
I expect that all those required will participate and engage fully in the second of those processes. So that's the one that will be undertaken by a third-party reviewer.
Ms Ardern says it's time to take this out of the media spotlight.
My view is that at this point we need to focus the process on the complainants. Continuing to prosecute this case in this manner does not help those complainants. We've now created a place where they can be heard. I'm focused on taking this forward by giving them the ability to confidentially deal in that process directly with the QC and not with the Labour Party.
Meanwhile, one of 3 people who investigated the original complaints has engaged a computer expert to prove he never received sexual assault allegations. Simon Mitchell was on the panel established to investigate the actions of the staffer when they were raised with the party earlier this year. One of the complainants insists she made it clear to the panel she was alleging sexual assault, both in person and in written testimony. Through a lawyer, Mr Mitchell has released a timeline of the inquiry and his interactions with the woman involved. He says sexual assault was never raised with him and brought in a computer forensics expert to confirm he never received such emails. Mr Mitchell also says the allegations were not raised in 2 meetings he had with the complainant. National's Deputy Leader Paula Bennett says the Prime Minister has lost control of the situation.
So on the very afternoon that the Prime Minister has gone out and just announced that she's got these 2 processes underway and that she's going to show all of this respect to the victims, one of her own council members that was involved in those decisions has made a statement that is in very much victim blaming.
Ms Ardern says the terms of reference have been finalised but won't be released publicly at the request of the complainants and the man facing the allegations. She says she'd have no problem releasing the independent review, but that won't happen if there's any objection from the parties involved. From Parliament for Checkpoint, Jane Patterson.